everyone. My name is Keone. Welcome to Zeno, where I teach you how to take control of your own life. Well, I tried to teach more than that. This is only my second video. I don't know what I'm doing very well yet. I'm getting into it. I wanted to start these videos by having an emphasis on taking control of your life. So knowing what things you are in control of in your life, taking control of it, and then improving your life because of it. My apologies if this video's quality is kind of weird. I'm still experimenting with audio and I don't have all of the things that I need yet. So, but today, the last video I did, which was yesterday, was talking about the 3 things that you're always in control of no matter what. So those are, you're in control of your thoughts, your actions, and what things mean to you. And the emphasis was on what things mean to you, because based on what things mean, it's how they influence who you are, basically. And it's important to know that you are in control of what things mean to you so that you can change what those things mean, and by doing so change their influence on what they do in your life. Today though, instead of talking about that, I'm going to talk about the 3 states of being. So here in this physical plane, I guess, in our lives, in these bodies that we're in right now, we exist in 3 states. There's the physical state, which is the body. It's the sense of taste, touch, and everything that goes along with being physical. It's your emotions, it's your hunger, it's when you're tired. You'll experience that on the physical plane. And then there is the mental plane, or some people call it the emotional plane, which is where our thoughts usually reside. So it's where our opinions are, it's our preferences, our hobbies, what we've learned, but it's also where our memories are stored, all sorts of things like that. And the one that most people will not mention, but is a part of ourselves, is our spiritual self, which can also be referred to as our true self, who we really are underneath all the opinions, all the labels, everything. It's the base identity of who we are. And the reason why I bring up these 3 states is because I wanted to talk about how these states influence you. So a lot of it has to do with your ability to, so each of these 3 states have an opinion of sorts. They have their own voice, they have their own needs, their own wants. For example, when you are hungry, your body is saying, I need food. And usually it will have a preference, say like you have a favorite food that's probably unhealthy. We'll use fast food, for example, because it's kind of unhealthy. It really is when you eat in large quantities. It's not a bad thing if you eat fast food. I eat fast food all the time, unfortunately. But that's not the point though. The point is, so basically, your physical body says, I'm hungry, I want a burger, right? Or I want fries. But your mind will say, hey, like, this is unhealthy, all the studies show that they're unhealthy, I think it's unhealthy, therefore we should not. And so then, the 2 voices that are speaking are butting heads. They're saying yes and no. And when they do that, you are suddenly in contention with yourself. So the reason I bring up these 3 states is so that we can figure out how we can unify them. And once you unify these 3 states, their voices and what they are telling you, then you can reach out, and it brings a sense of unity within yourself. You're no longer requiring people to tell you that you're happy or that you're okay. You don't need to ask for people's opinions, because your opinion, everything about you, is solidified by yourself. It's part of the process to taking control of your life. Sorry, my thing's getting mad at me. Poor setup, my fault. But so the way that we are able to unify these voices is you have to satisfy all these voices. So I just want to clarify first that these 3 voices do not have their own identity. Your mental side and your spiritual side they have different voices, but they are not different people. They are all a section of you, basically. So if you feel like you are split up between two identities, it is not because you have two identities necessarily. It's just that you have two sides of yourself wanting different things, or different portions of yourself, I guess. It's like a pie chart, kind of. Sometimes 53% has the priority, while one other side has 47%. It's not equal. And the way that you unify that is by making it equal, making it come together. All have the same weight and the same voice. All sides being listened to. So the way you go about doing that, addressing all of the sides of the coin, is you figure out what each side wants. Say you're in contention. I'll use another example about dating somebody. Say you find them physically attractive, but their personality is kind of something you don't appreciate. You don't like how they treated somebody, or their manners were kind of lacking, whatever. You didn't like their personality, but you found them attractive. So then you have your two voices again, butting heads. You say, well, she's kind of mean, or he's kind of weird, or something like that. And then you have your other voices like, well, I think that they look pretty awesome, and I'm attracted to them. And so then you have voices butting heads. So what you need to do is you need to decide which one really takes priority. This is where the spiritual side comes in, because the spiritual side, where your true self, is always the one that is unhindered by the world, by all of the labels, by all the things. It's what you really want. It's your purest form. And its voice usually is, well, it's always the one that's right, because it's what you really need. So to listen to that side, a lot of that requires you to separate yourself from the labels, to get away from the opinions, get away from your preferences. It helps to do meditations that will take you out of yourself. A lot of meditations online, what they will do is they will have you do breathing exercises and focus on your breathing to a point where you are no longer, your awareness at that moment is moved away from the world, and you're just kind of floating in your own personal space. And it's good to do that, because then you can address, you're separated from like, oh, but she's pretty, or oh, but he's really friendly. I don't know what the interests would be, but you separate yourself from all this, and you sit there and say, okay, what do I want? What do I need? What am I looking for? All those things. And once you do that, once you listen to all three voices and you unify them, and this voice will suddenly say, okay, I understand that I don't like this person, but it means a lot to me to be physically attracted to them. Or the other side says, like, okay, I understand that they're physically attractive, but it might not be healthy for me to be around that kind of personality, so to listen to all those voices, have them communicate with you. So it's a lot of introspection, knowing what is going on within you. Because when it comes down to your life, the only person who can really control it is you. Other people can have influences. Obviously, your boss has an influence. They say you do something, kind of have to get it done because it's your job. It's what you're hired. It's what you're there to do. It's your responsibility. But if they're saying things like, yeah, you're just a terrible worker, you're just awful, hate how you do things, that doesn't mean that you're an awful person. That means that that's their perspective about you. And that's them. That's their own thing. For you, though, once you become unified within yourself, then you are no longer hindered by what the world around you thinks, what it wants you to do. And the reason why you need that is because in the steps coming, we're going to talk about a bunch of steps later. These first two steps, learning about what you're in control of, taking control of those things, and then learning about your three states and unifying them, Those are the absolute basics to taking control of your life. Once you are able to understand um, and are aware of your existence around you and yourself, and you have the power to do those things, that's when you really become awakened to these next steps. Some of the things I'm going to talk about later, I haven't written down, that's why I keep looking down. Some of the other things that I wanted to get into in my future videos, lost the camera for a second, I wanted to talk about the three me's, which is basically me, myself, and I, the three ways that you acknowledge yourself in your thoughts. Another thing that is helpful, these are two next things are basics that I'll be talking about in other videos. There's the three perspectives of time, because in reality time is just a perspective. Those are the four basics. There's the three things that you're in control, the three states, or I don't know why I'm holding it for. So the three things you're in control of, the three states of existence, physical, spiritual, and mental, the three me's, and the three perspectives of time. Once you are able to master and understand those four things, that is when you start yourself on the road of moving to the next stages of taking control of your life. Because after we learn those basics, and I'll go over the next two in another video, I'm trying to put out daily videos so that every day there's new content and there's new something that will help people who come to these videos learn. But some other things are the law of attraction, which a lot of people have heard of, but kind of don't understand how it works properly. And there's lots of places you can go to find that. But another thing that I'm going to focus on is the difference between being as if and acting as if, which is something that I learned from Aaron Daughtry, he's another YouTuber who talks about a lot of these things. But some other things that I wanted to mention is how to love yourself, which is something, unfortunately, that our society today has a hard time with. We like to throw away ourselves by means of progressing the world around us because we feel like we have to. It feels like we're asked of us. We're raised to believe that we have to sacrifice ourselves for the betterment of others, which is 100% not the case. You never, ever should have to give yourself up because somebody else asked you to. I'm completely off track of the point of the video, so I'm just going to go ahead and stop it there. But just remember the three states that you exist in. You have your physical, mental, and spiritual. And it's important to acknowledge all three of them. It helps to do meditations. It helps to, in the morning and at night, you find that you're a lot more aware of these things because as you're going to sleep and as you're waking up, you are in yourself. You are interacting with yourself the most when you're waking up and you're going to bed. That's when you're closest to who you are. So with those three things, if you want to know more about this topic, about the three states and how you can unify them better, ask me questions down in the comments below. Also, if you have any specific, like I need help with unifying this specific thing with this specific thing, I'm totally willing to answer your questions. Anything that you might want to know about, anything that I mentioned in this video that you're confused about, let me know in the comments below and I'll try and cover it in another video. But with that, I hope you have a good rest of your day, rest of your week, rest of whatever time that you're in, and I'll see you later.